Our gentleman from Texas, Mr. McCaul, recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. McCarthy, with all due respect, I believe at a time we're trying to create jobs in the Congress and the administration, your agency is destroying jobs and causing real harm, justifying it based on possible noncompliance in the future. I believe this rule will result in higher prices for electricity. It's already shut down 2 plants. It's being imposed on Texas with absolutely very short warning. And Texas has been included not because of actual measurements that show problems, but because of models that show hypothetical problems in the future. And we heard that testimony from the previous panel. My questions, I have 2 questions. One is that because Texas was not included in the initial rule, state agencies, energy companies, and residents did not have the opportunity to offer their input into the rulemaking process. I understand that Texas was included in the final rule, but why were Texans not given the opportunity afforded to others to offer their suggestions and concerns on this rule and make the necessary preparations for compliance once you decided to include us? And I'll say there were 6 other states that were added in the final rule, and they were provided a time to supplementary notice on their inclusion that allowed them time to comment. Yet Texas was not treated in the same way and provided this similar type of notice, and rather we were just put on the final rule. Now, would you mind commenting to those 2 questions?
No, I don't mind commenting, but first of all, the cross-state rule does not shut down facilities. It's the most flexible, market-based approach that we have to achieve cost-effective reductions. If EPA, if you would like, I'd refer you to the Houston Chronicle article today that's entitled "Don't Blame EPA Over Luminant Woes." You know, we are not to blame for luminant's financial trouble. We can achieve reductions, and they can achieve those reductions, we believe, without the closure of those facilities, and we would like to see that happen.
We'd like to comply, but yeah, I think you need to be reasonable and not, just shove us into a rule without any input from the state and not giving us time to have input the way you did 6 other states. That doesn't seem fair to me.
Yeah.
And as a Texan, it looks like that you're being unfair with Texas, and that this administration is playing unfair with the state of Texas.
I clearly don't want you to walk away believing that, because Texas, in terms of their air quality emissions and what we expect of them, is the same process that we use for every state to identify their contribution and make reductions. I will tell you that we did solicit comment. It disturbs me that Texas is now claiming that they didn't have due process. We have been as transparent as we possibly could be with this rule. We solicited comment, and the fact that they actually commented should deflate that issue somewhat, or that claim.
If I could just close, my time has expired. Again, you have 6 other states, Iowa, Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Wisconsin, added in the final rule. They were provided with a supplementary notice on their inclusion that allowed for their comment.
Because it was on the basis of new data, and the proposal didn't request comment on their inclusion, so we did have to do a supplemental rule. That is not the same situation as the state of Texas.
So Texas was treated differently than the 6 other states?
We had different data at the time that we put the proposal out. We actually solicited comment on their inclusion, and they provided comment. We adjusted our model, and indeed, they significantly contribute to pollution in downwind states.
Well, I just, in closing, Mr. Chairman, I do think that if we are treated differently, there is I understand your position.
I understand.
But I do think it really it smacks of unfairness. Thank you.